Today I'll show you how to build your own gaming PC for less than $400, including operating system, keyboard, mouse, and 1080p monitor. Now this isn't a PC build in the traditional sense where you buy individual parts, assemble them in a case, set up the computer, etc. Instead, we'll be choosing a used pre-built, made for office work, and modifying it to suit our needs. The idea is that instead of making you dive headfirst into building a PC, you instead are slowly given projects to work on your own rig, starting with installing a graphics card, then over time learning how to do upgrades, such as installing an SSD or installing more RAM. Now the idea of this build was inspired by a few common complaints coming from people wanting to build their first PC. Those complaints being that the idea of choosing individual parts and assembling them yourself is intimidating to someone with no experience, that no OS is included, and above all, that the monitor, keyboard, and mouse can add well over $200 to a build. Normally these complaints are addressed by saying, just use PC parts picker, assembly is a lot easier than it looks, just follow tutorials on YouTube, and lastly, oh well, you wouldn't include the price of a TV when you buy a console, so why would you include the price of a monitor and keyboard when you build a PC? And while these responses are technically correct, I feel like it dismisses the problem that people trying to get into PC gaming are having rather than trying to solve them. So I came up with this build. So the base computer that I purchased is a Dell optiplex 390 with an i3, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gig hard drive. Really, any optiplexes will work as long as they have at least one PCI X slot to insert a graphics card into. Just be sure not to purchase a slim model, as these are not tall enough to accommodate graphics cards. As you can see, I've pulled up a few examples. Now the option that I would suggest, if you can find it, would be the optiplex 390 with an i5, 6 gigs of RAM, and the 500 gig hard drive. This seems to be the top of the line optiplex that you can get for under $200. Another good option is finding a deal like this. It comes with a suitable optiplex, a good 1080p LCD monitor, basic keyboard and mouse, and even at $285 shipped, it still leaves us with $115 left to spend, which brings us to the next point. For the card, I used a GeForce GTX 750 Ti superclocked. Now I know that an i3 could handle a lot better card, but I chose this card for a few reasons. One, I wouldn't have it in the budget to upgrade the stock cooler and heatsink for the processor. Any better card I was looking at needed its own power supply, while the GTX 750 Ti superclocked only runs off of the power supplied by the PCI X slot. That means that if I did get a better card, even though technically it would be in the budget, I would have to go back and replace the power supply, which was not in the budget. For the peripherals, everything that you see here was thrifted or bought on sale. The keyboard was bought for $299 at Goodwill. The mouse was bought at Radio Shack during one of the clearance sales for $699. The monitor was bought for $19.99 on Goodwill's half-off day. In recap, we used a Dell optiplex 390, bought for $180, a GeForce GTX 750 Ti, bought for $123. Our monitor cost us $20, the keyboard $3, and the mouse was $7. So in total, we ended up spending $332. If you'd like to see a full write-up of this build, I posted a link to the Reddit post below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll try my best to get back to them. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more videos every week, and thanks, and until next time, keep building.